Friends, let's start with some inspirations. 12 o'clock on the dot, and here we are on YouTube. Let me shuffle some screens around so I can see you. And let's get started, shall we? Lots of interesting things to cover today, and I am delighted that you're here with me. Let's begin with some inspiration. And the inspiration for today is coming from none other than Rumi, the poet Rumi. Do you know who that is? I hope you do, and I think you probably do. So let's get into that, shall we? But first, my name is Salima, yoga therapist, and I'm delighted to be here with you today. We do all kinds of things here on YouTube to heal, to transform, to create leadership, impact, and transformation in the world, starting with our own sweet self. And then as we develop and as we evolve, we have more on offer for the other people in our lives, right? So let's start this conversation here and take it forward, shall we? Give me just a moment while I finish putting up the right screen so I can see everybody and also see myself. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go. Here's the poem for today. It's called The Guest House. And this is by Jalaluddin Rumi, a very famous Sufi poet. Sufism is a form of Islam, and that particular form of Islam is very connected to the spiritual, the mystical. It is an esoteric practice, so less focused on rules and obedience, but more on connection. And so I thought that was a really good place to start. And our inspiration for today, the guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are crowds of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. She may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Deep inhale and exhale. Inhale very deeply and exhale completely. And one more time. Take a deep inhale and exhale. I love the inspiration. I love what this idea conjures, what this poem conjures is that there is an order to the chaos or the seemingly chaotic nature of life, especially right now. And part of what that understanding is leads us to the big picture around how we feel about trust. And trust is one of those experiences that we have to cultivate. Because oftentimes in our lives, we may have been with caregivers or in environments where things were a little erratic or sporadic or not quite dependable. And so as young people, as little people, we designed our lives and our responses around how to cope with that inconsistency. And so that leads to a little trouble down the line, doesn't it? Because all of a sudden we second guess the things that we really know well, which is how we feel. And then we give our trust away to experiences that actually don't deserve them. And so that's where we want to place ourselves today. So as we talk about this topic of trust, please drop me a comment. What is it that comes up for you? What do you notice about your physical response to this idea of trust? What is in your heart and in your body when we start walking into this topic? Is it something that you can access easily, trusting yourself, trusting another, trusting the environment? Or is that something where you feel triggered? You feel a little bit inhibited around why you would say what you say. Is it safe to say those things? Is it safe to be myself? What are the things that are coming up? And if you share it here in the comments, that's a really helpful way for everyone to participate in this community dialogue, to gain some understanding, to gain perspective on what's going on. Because chances are, if you're thinking it and feeling it, somebody else here live on the call is too. Okay, so that's the starting point for our practice today, is the topic of trust and how that impacts the cycle of life and death. And what's really interesting is this, in this notion of life, there is cycles, and I'm sure that you can pick them up once I name them for you. And those cycles have to do with related to Kundalini Yoga, related to the mantra Satanama, universe, life, death, rebirth. So there's this understanding that we are connected to all that is. And in our connection to all that is, we are connected to our intuition, which comes from the universe through our body system. And there is guidance there, just like Rumi said. There's some guidance there in terms of how we operate, what are the lessons that are coming our way, what people are coming, relationships are coming. There's an order to all of that. So universe, life, all of the things, the contrast, the good, the bad, the hot, the cold, the warm, the cool, the moving and the stillness and the up and the down, all of the things that bring us contrast. And contrast comes from duality. It's either this or it's that. And what we want to do is come somewhere in the middle where all of that can be experienced without heartache, without pain, without making it personal. Okay, so that's part of it. So universe, life, death, rebirth. And then there is this dying moment. And oftentimes we experience that dying moment as a change. We come to the end of a relationship. We come to the end of a job. We come to the end of life. We've witnessed people who have passed away. And that death signals a death actually of ourselves, our beliefs, our habits, our patterns, our you name it. So with endings signal this kind of death. And interestingly enough, I woke up with this idea today and I spotted an interview on, I think I was on Instagram, and Erykah Badu was talking about the exact same thing. Erykah Badu was very popular when I was in high school, I think, maybe a little older than that, in the 90s and 2000s. And she was just speaking some wisdom around the fact that when things change, what we really grieve is the part of us that has to change. It's not so much the other person. It's not so much about the circumstance, but rather what's our attachment to that which is now needing to end. Okay, so that's the cycle of life. And then, of course, universe, life, death, rebirth. There is always another day. The sun is always shining, even if we can't see it. The moon is always shining, even if we can't see it. And that's the hope and the spirit that lies underneath all of that we're going to explore today. Okay, so that's where we are. Drop a comment. Where are you coming in from? Let me know. How are these thoughts resonating for you today? And let's begin now with some breath work. And we're going to do very simple breath work today. It's an inhale for 7, a hold for 7, and exhale for 7. And it's really the exhalation that you want to pay attention to, noticing that the exhalation signals the death and automatically the rebirth. So we have that pattern here in our breathing. So let's begin now. First, settle down. Find a way to be right now with the long, tall, straight spine. And close your eyes or look downwards. And just relax your belly. First, before you do any focused breathing, think about relaxing your shoulders. Think about relaxing and actually doing this. Bring a little flex to your legs, wiggle your toes and your fingers. Bring some aliveness and some presence into your body first. It's very easy to default to the mind, but let's do this now inwardly. Thank you, Melissa, and hi, Doreen. And so in this moment, as you settle into your body, into the present moment, feeling the support of the earth below you and the vastness of the universe around you, relax your abdominal area, relax your diaphragm, let everything settle in. Notice where you're gripping or holding. And through the mouth, let it go. Exhale. Good. A few more just like that. Sigh it out. And last one. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And now let's begin the breathing practice by inhaling for a count of 7, holding for 7, exhaling for 7. Ready? Inhale through the nose. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now exhale through the mouth. Good. Continue now. Go at your own pace. Inhaling for 7 through the nose. Hold for 7, and then exhale for 7. Allow this breath work to energize you, to prop up your living, your prana, the energy inside of you, so that when we come to the meditation for trust, you can find the resources to carry through. It's a little bit of a challenge to do this meditation only because the arms are up. And so here we're doing a little bit of prep work to get ready for that experience. Holding for 7. And then exhaling through the mouth. Good. Keep going. Allow your body to relax. Allow yourself to be here completely. And notice what comes alive for you. What memories start to surface? What do you become more aware of? And notice where you want to take this practice today. Did something arise on the topic of trust? Is there something or someone that you're feeling challenged by? Is it your own sweet self? Something about your responses that you want to lean in on? Last few rounds of the breath. Good. Inhale very deeply. Squeeze, tense, and hold all of your muscles. Squeeze, tense, and hold. Just a little more, challenge a little bit more, and let it go. Exhale. Inhale very deeply. Squeeze, tense, hold. Exhale. And one more time. Inhale, squeeze, tense, and hold. Let it go. Exhale. Amazing. Give yourself a little shake out here. Shaking is a really powerful way to reset the nervous system. It's a great segue from one part of the practice into another. We're using our own body to reset. You can think about, as I shift, as I shake off whatever's happened so far today. I shake off that memory. I shake off that conversation. I shake it off. I create some space for myself so that I can move forward. And it's not just an I. When I move forward collectively, everything in our life goes with us. We decide not to hold the grudge. We decide to hold someone accountable. When you feel embodied, that's the time to act. Okay, let's do a little bit of shoulder rolls. We're going to be bringing the arms above the head today. So consider that. Consider how your shoulders are feeling today. Just give yourself a little warm up here. We're doing a more free flow. So maybe you want to roll your shoulders backwards a few times, maybe then forward a few times, and then wiggling it all the way out. Just letting everything go so that you can feel here, present, relaxed. Good. All right, last few rounds. Good. Inhale very deeply, bring the arms all the way up. And from here now, grab onto your wrist. So I'm using my right hand to grab my left wrist and then gently moving over here to the right side. So whichever hand is holding on to the top hand, that's the direction that you want to gently, gently stretch it out. If you have flexibility in your neck, you can look upwards. This is stretching out the entire length of the body, and you could also feel a little bit of stretch around the shoulders. Inhale deeply, reach up, and grab the opposite side, and moving to the right side now. Right arm stretching over to the left. Looking upwards if you have that available today. Keep the breath deep and relax. Good. A little work now for the spine. So if you're standing like I am, or you're in a position on the ground, you can do spinal flex. Spinal flex is where we want to move the spine backwards and forwards. This is helping the nerves, helping the health of the nerves. So here I'm doing it standing. So I'm going to put my hands on my thighs and inhale as I bring the chest forward and exhaling as I roll back. If you're sitting on a chair or you're sitting on the floor, same concept with your hands on your knees. Good. Really open the chest. See if you can stretch forward. Shoulders are rolling. Excellent. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale deeply, come to center, and exhale completely. Good. Now, if you have the ability and you can stand up, then you can follow along with me directly. If you prefer to remain seated, we're going to do Sufi grinds next. If you're standing, we're doing it a little bit differently. We're going to put our hands on our waist and then start to move the lower body. And if you're sitting, you can bring your hands on your knees and move the upper body over your lower body. So this is a moving meditation. I love this particular practice. I feel like it gets into all those little spots that end up being restricted over the course of a day. So inhaling as you come forward and exhaling as you roll all the way to the back. It's a gentle stretch. You're starting to work out the hips. So if you've been sitting all day like I have, as you roll the hips, you start to loosen up any emotions that you might be feeling. And this is where we hold a lot of emotions, particularly if you are a woman. This is where we hold our emotions. A few more rounds in one direction, and then we're going to switch. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale deeply, come forward, come to center, and exhale. Go in the opposite direction, same movement. If you're sitting on the ground, you bring your upper body over your lower body. Here, I'm doing it standing, so I'm going to bring the hips forward and move more of the lower body. That's what I'm feeling for today. So that's what we're doing. And I can't remember which way I went. It's okay. It couldn't be far wrong. It's either one way or the other. Good. Sink into the movement, close your eyes. So maybe this is the time where you give yourself a little pat on the back for showing up today to be participating in an online experience. Maybe you by chance caught the live, and that's pretty cool because you're in alignment and you were thinking about it. That's amazing. And as you move now, remember there's lots of ways we can stay in touch. What I love about being here is that we get to interact. And then there's also other programs and other ways that we can do live conversation. And that's really helpful too, because once you pick a thread of a conversation or a thread of an idea and you start to bring it all the way through, there's a lot of satisfaction because that itch has been scratched. That thread now becomes something that you can stitch with. Last few. Good. Inhale very deeply, come to center. And exhale. Amazing. All right. I think we're ready to start. So from here, remember you can do this in a chair. You can do this on the couch. You can do this sitting in your bed. You can do this on the floor. As long as you have a tall, straight spine, that's what we're most concerned with. Pressing your palms together at the center of your chest. We're tuning in now with the Adi mantra, Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. In the sacred language of Gurmukhi, this sound vibration means I bow to the teacher within. This is where we tap into the infinite part of us, the part that already knows, not distracted by everybody's shenanigans, actually knows. Okay, so inhale very deeply, bring the energy up. Focus in between the eyebrows and slightly above, and exhale. Inhale very deeply. Exhale. Inhale, and let's tune in. Om Gurudev Namo. Om Namo. Gurudev Namo. Om Namo. Gurudev Namo. Inhale very deeply. Hold the breath. And exhale completely. Tuning in is such an amazing way to shift. I wonder if you felt that. I did. As you prepare now, be very focused on the idea of trust, trusting the process, trusting that you showing up the best way you know, the best way you can in every single moment. And if you look back and you could have done it differently, just know that that's a statement of your healing. Okay, so this practice is not about forcing yourself to do something that you don't really feel inside of yourself, or to not do something that you really feel you should be doing. This is to guide yourself to an answer of clarity. Okay, it's the meditation for trust, one of my favorites. Here I'm going to show you in a side profile. So you're going to put one hand over the other. So the palm of one hand sits on top of the hand of the other. So one palm to the top. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one. There are teachings here in Kundalini Yoga that say, depending on your gender, you pick a certain thing. I tend to be a little more feeling of fluid around what that means and how we interpret that. And so one hand over the other, I'm choosing my left hand to go over my right, and thumb tips touching. And then like a halo, bringing this mudra over top of your head. I'm just going to arrange it so that you can see what my hands are doing. We're floating it just a little bit over my head. It's like a halo. It is creating an arc line. An arc line is an energetic field of your holiness, your spirituality, where other people connect with you. Okay, so you find your way. It could be here, a few inches above your head. It could be here, holding a little bit lower. It could be here on your heart space. And I'm offering you these modifications so that you know that you can lower your hands if you really need to. What's important is the mantra. What's important is that you think about your holiness, your sacredness, and you move forward from there. Okay. Okay, so thumb tips touching. Hands are over the head or lower down wherever it feels good. And then gently drop your eyes. You're not fully closed, just a little sliver of light coming through. Your eyes are focused at the tip of your nose. And the mantra here is Wa He Guru. Wa He Guru. Wa He Guru. Wa He Guru. Now, very softly as a whisper, so once you get those sounds, the next thing you want to do is whisper them. Good. So keep going. I'm going to chant it out loud. I'm going to release my hands down just so I can comfortably hold this meditation for you. I'm going to do it out loud, but you do it as a whisper. Slide into the meditation. Wa He Guru. 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 Your palms are above your head, just straightening out, making sure that you have your body in alignment. Relax your shoulders, keep your hands floating above your head. If you need to drop them down, that's totally fine. Just keep the palms together. Maybe you place it on your heart. Keep going now. Wa He Guru. 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 Take breaks when you need to. Hands are floating above your head or lower down as you need. Eyes are closed or slightly closed, looking at the tip of the nose. Wa He Guru. 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 Good. Continue this mantra. If you're feeling a little warm, that's totally normal. You will feel a little bit heat rising depending on what's coming up, what's stirring up for you. We're in the final minute of today's practice, the meditation for trust. And once we conclude this practice, I'll stay on and answer any questions that you may have and invite you into some more experiences together. Numerology consult, a time in Harmony Within, group mentoring, and Kundalini Yoga teacher training. Keep going now. Focus deeply. Wa He Guru. 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 Holding your arms above your head or still on your body, take a deep inhale. Hold the breath. Squeeze all of your muscles. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And exhale. 2 more times. Inhale very deeply. Squeeze, tense, and hold. Squeeze, tense, hold. Squeeze, tense, hold. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. Squeeze, tense, hold. Exhale. And slowly, gracefully, relax your hands all the way down. Sit with the sensations. Sit in this present moment, the shared moment. This moment of quiet after the practice is to allow for integration. Very important. You can almost feel the nerves in my brain start rewiring, refiring. If you're having that experience, I'd love to talk about that once we're done. Pressing your palms together at the center of your chest. Spine tall, heart lifted, energy focused, long sat, short nam. Sa. Nam. Sa. Nam. Sa. Nam. Please ground yourself, bring your forehead and your palms to the ground, closing off the energy of today's practice. Give yourself here a moment of reverence, a moment of humbleness, a moment to take in the vastness of this mantra, Satnam. Truth is my name. Truth is there is only one. In the sacred language of Gurmukhi. This ancient practice coming from ancient times in India here into our modern context, and see how relevant it is. To wrap up this idea of trust, I found an interesting quote also by Rumi, or attributed to Rumi. Trust means you are willing to risk what you already have. Trust means you're willing to risk what you already have. Ooh, I love it. So today, and even though I was on camera, today I had a feeling that came through, like a feeling of connection, a feeling of a ginger ale moment. And I thought that would be an interesting place to also take a moment to talk about. So put your thoughts here in terms of what is trust? What does it mean to you? What did that meditation offer you in terms of perspective? And how did you feel as a result? And as you're doing that, I will remind you that all the links to get in touch with me are going to be in the description box. So after you watch the video and you want to get in touch with me, you can always take a look below the video. And there you'll see a few links for some things that I'm working on or that I'm fully committed to. Number one is Kundalini Yoga training, an amazing group of humans who are knee deep in loving Kundalini Yoga. And over a course of a year, so that 12 months, we learn about the history, philosophy, the meaning, the mantra, the lineage, all the background, the chakras, the breath work, meditation. We cover all of that content and we use it in a modern context. So we're making it relevant to what's happening in life. You have a conflict. How do you use your chakras for that? If you're having a stuck moment, how do you use your breath for that? So really deep dive into the technical aspects of Kundalini Yoga as well, and then how to apply it. That's the important piece. Okay, all this knowledge, how do I train myself, train my mind to apply it? Not just feel hopeless or helpless, but okay, something can be done. So that's Kundalini Yoga training. Love that. Love that group of people, that group of humans. And the next one is Harmony Within, which is a membership program. You come in whenever you need to and you exit whenever you need to. And on a monthly basis, we meet 4 times. And in that span of time, we get chance to we meet 5 times. We have weekly gatherings and then once a month gathering where the full group comes together to discuss and also to practice together. So if you're loving the lives, you want more interaction, live interaction, that's the place to go. And then what's the last one? The last one is coaching in yoga therapy. So if you found yourself in a place where you need a little bit more guidance for an ongoing subject topic that's come up, maybe it's from your childhood, maybe there's some trauma that's staying here in the body, maybe there's the support and accountability you need to move through a particular challenge, maybe it's a separation, maybe it's parenting, all of those things. It's always good to have an outside person, not someone super close who's giving your opinion, but also professionally distanced, and also that is somatically based, meaning we're going to tap into the body as we go through the challenges that life is bringing. That's because 20% of change happens here and 80% happens here. And so we tap into the wisdom of the body, so many things can happen. Okay, let's take a look and see if there are some questions here that I can help to answer. I see some comments coming through. Yes, you're most welcome. Some things you said answered questions for me that bothered me over the last 3 days. You're most welcome. Sherry, if you want to note those down, amazing. I can cover them for everybody because chances are, if you were thinking about it, it's on topic. Trust is a big one. And so is the idea of connecting in a way that's heartfelt and connecting with ourselves in a heartfelt way. And I can tell you where trust, lack of trust starts to creep in. And that is usually, as you might have guessed, in our early life where we wanted to do something or touch something or eat something, and somebody was hovering around saying, no, don't do that. And while it might have been a very natural instinct for them to be protective, there might have been moments where they stopped the process of curiosity, or they stopped a joyful moment by offering this correction. And so when that happens over time, consistently, continuously, you can see where the inner being starts to feel guarded. Oh, I want to laugh, but I'm going to get in trouble. I want to go and be on stage and sing a song, but I'm going to get criticized. And so we start holding back and we start holding back and we start doubting our abilities, doubting our willingness to trust ourselves, to just go, just be. And then we got to claim that back, because trusting what you know is the foundation for living an intentional life, feeling connected and feeling like we're in charge. So some props here in terms of talking about trust, and actually this was suggested to me by someone else in Harmony Within. So please know that we're all on topic. We're probably all feeling it. Usually if something comes up once or twice or 3 times, it's for the collective. And so I often take those, my trusted signs that there is a message here. And that message around trust has been coming up quite a bit in the last couple of days as well. So Melissa, thank you for commenting. And Ryan, thoughts on Kundalini Yoga and gut issues. Strong correlation between my dysregulated nervous system and my digestion. Yes. Okay, Ryan, this is a really important connection that you've made. Okay, so let's talk about all those things. This topic of trust is lack of trust. We can also think about that as a trauma response. And it's a response to having a lot of influences, critical influences. And so we then clamp down. Okay. Now, depending on your background, depending on the state of your nervous system when you arrived, depending on the nervous system of your mother, the mother who gave you birth, and the caregiver around you, but your birth mother, there will be a predisposition of your nervous system. So for some people, that nervous system is very emotionally sensitive. Some are physically sensitive. Some are mentally sensitive. And that's where you see some of the inherited things, like cancer running in families or mental health experiences running in families. Okay. I'm not trying to pinpoint or diagnose anything. I'm just giving you a trend, an overall thing to think about. And so I've heard it said many, many times that children who experience a lot of criticism in childhood, and again, Ryan, I'm not saying this is you, I'm just talking about an experience, that oftentimes it leads to tension, and the tension happens here in the gut. And all of a sudden, instead of eating in a relaxed way and digesting in a relaxed way, we're holding, we're gripping, we're uncomfortable, we're stopping ourselves from going to the bathroom, we're not eating enough, we're eating too much. All of those things start to create an imbalance. And yes, all of those things, not only are they affected by dysregulation in other spots in our nervous system or the system itself, but it can also be a dysregulating experience. Okay, so there's a synergy between all of these things, as you've rightly understood. If it's happening here, it's happening here. If it's happening here, it's happening here. So there are no pieces that are not are disconnected from anything else. We are whole beings with multiple dimensions, and that is treating it holistically. Okay, so that is the correlation. You're absolutely right. And regulating your nervous system will be one of the pieces that you can use to solve the gut issues. And part of that will be consulting with your doctor, adjusting your diet, drinking more water, perhaps. And another big part of it will be dialing down stress and figuring out how to unearth and release the memories that are sitting within your body. Kundalini Yoga is a fantastic way to do that. Really, really good way to do that. There are gentle practices here. One of them is called relax and release stress. There are, I mean, really, just go to the go to the search bar on my channel and research stress. There are some that are teeny tiny, just a few breathing techniques, longer meditations, and then full practices. And in there, somewhere, you will find what's appropriate for you, what you time commitments you have, and availability that you have, and something that is hopefully effective for you. Okay, so thank you for bringing it up. I really appreciate that honest question and what we can do about it. Now, I want to stress that I'm not giving you medical advice. This is not to replace meetings with your doctor or with your therapist, but rather, how do you create a complementary experience? How can you use, any of us, use Kundalini Yoga to enhance, to elevate the other things that we're doing? Okay, so if we're adjusting our diet and we've got a new relaxing kind of meditation to do, hey, that might be the right combo. So please know that it may take a couple of tries before you find the right one, but it will be there. And your diligence to working it out is a really good piece. I just got a little brainwave. When you're dealing with digestive issues, and this counts for anybody, so maybe you have nausea or an upset stomach, inhaling through the mouth, closing the mouth and exhaling nose. Inhale mouth, exhale nose. Doing that for, let's say, 3 rounds, 5 rounds, a minute or so, helps to cool the body, helps to release any air, any gas that might be sitting there. Okay, so try that out too. Trust meditation was good, helped to regain trust with my body. Yes. Thank you. That's very, that's it, right? Like, we have been taught, or we assume that if our body's hurting or giving us distressing signals, that it's working against us. Like somehow my body, spraining my ankle or injuring my hip or having a headache, all of these things are like, oh, you're getting in my way. Yeah, yes, it does feel like that. But when we turn our spiritual attention to, oh, asking the question, what am I needing to learn here? What is my body trying to tell me? Asking kind question like you would to a child, or how you might talk to your kitten, or how you might approach anything that isn't you. How might you ask that question in a way that is engaging, that shows that you're listening, that you're open to the answer? How might you ask? And even that alone can be such a powerful game changer. Okay, so instead of getting hot tempered and criticizing and doing all the things that you might have heard in your early life, reclaiming that and saying, hey, I see that you're upset, stomach. What do we need to do? Do we need to eat more? Do we need to eat less? Do we need to drink more? Do we need to do something else? Go for a walk? Sit here quietly? Do some research? Join a live? You can ask those really sweet questions and come to something different. I'm sure of it. So thank you for the question. So question about parenting. I wasn't the most present and created an issue. She's an adult, recognized it later and tried, but also feel I don't want to overwhelm her. I want her to feel it and accept it as she wants. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. Interestingly enough, my kiddo is over today and we had a very similar conversation. And the wisdom I got from my 9-year-old was, Mama, you can't please everybody. So you should stop trying. Right? that was a little bit honest. I mean, that was very honest and very like straightforward. And it was true. Okay. So that is true. That can't please everybody, don't have all the answers. Okay. Accept that. Acceptance. In fact, next week I'm presenting. I'll be rolling out a recorded video on the topic of acceptance, and you'll catch glimpses of that next week as well. Okay. All right. So where was I? So when you have a conflict, especially with a child, even an adult child, the most important part is the repair. And the repair looks like, hey, I didn't know that back then. I know it now. And I want you to know that I deeply feel that experience. And I apologize for what it created for you. And I can't change the past, but I do commit to moving forward in a different way. That has to come from your heart. If it's a memorized speech, they will know. And just like any of our wounding, the most important part is the person comes and is available for questions, who willing and ready to take accountability. And so to do that, you need the right circumstances. You need to create the right circumstances, a relaxed place to sit, private conversation, nobody's around, no rush, no force, no mess, but actually to say, hey, I really care about you. And I notice my actions might have impacted you. And for that, it's on me. It's on me to show you differently. And I think those words and those kind of actions and fully changed behavior is what anybody needs to recover, to earn back trust, to humble ourselves enough to say, hey, I made a mistake. And to do that regularly. I mean, what are we holding out for? Our kids are human just like we are. They see us very clearly. We are their barometer for how the rest of the world is operating. And so being in a place of honesty with them gives them some sense of how might the rest of the world show up, and to cultivate trust and faith in that and hope. Okay? I hope that was helpful. Parenting is ever changing. Parenting is a very fluid process, and a lot of times we're traveling a path that there aren't guidebooks or rules for. And certainly if we just replay out every single thing that we learned, there goes hope. And catching ourselves in our own awareness is part of the challenge, right? Oh, in this kind of situation, this is what my mom would have done. And oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. Sometimes it slips out of my face, but I don't really want to be that way. And some places I learned really good things, and I do want to pass that on. So regulating your nervous system, being focused, sending your energetic apology ahead of time often helps too. So that's what I'm in the space of doing. When I've felt uneasy about a decision I've made or something I've said, I send my apology ahead of time. Okay, for what that which happened, I take responsibility and accountability. And spirit, move in front of me, clear the path so I can make amends. These are some of the simple things that I say out loud to myself, and it charges the energy of my aura with that experience. So I invite you to do the same. Okay, so a follow-up here. There's some resentment there, so I also back off a little bit, but some gems you dropped made me feel better. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's very nice when it is here, right? And in the moment when emotions are running high and patience is thin and somebody's hungry and somebody's tired, you name just a few small little things and perfectly good intentions can go sideways. And so the follow up, I think, is the most important part. So do your best, send your energy ahead, and let spirit also move with you. I think the other thing that's come up a lot this week in terms of sessions that I've held and conversations that I've been a part of is that this we call what's happened to us now as trauma, but before we could put a name on it, it was life experiences, it was life lessons, it was life showing us life showing us. And as humans, we are a little more focused on our pain points than our joy points. Joy doesn't necessarily teach us a lot. We feel good, it helps us. There are little bursts of energy, but it's the places where we feel compromised or challenged or stressed or not quite sure that actually inspires us to shift and change. And so there's some value here. It may not feel like it. Remember that trust is the willingness to let go of something that we already have in order to bring in something new and different. Okay, so I want you to hold that with you and see where it takes you. See where it takes you in your relationship with your child, your adult child, and remember that everybody makes mistakes, kids included, parents included. And I think now, being a parent myself, for those of you who are parents, you look back at your own childhood and say, oh, that awe or that willingness that I was to offer to an adult human and thought they knew everything. Now, when you're about the same age or you're in the same circumstances, you go, oh, actually, I didn't know very much. I'm sure they didn't know very much. If I am where I am thinking I don't know very much, then for sure there were generations ahead of us didn't really know very much, right? So please, it's all, keep it in perspective. It's also not okay to beat yourself up over things that have happened in the past and use that as a way of also you not loving yourself. Every single person makes mistakes. All right. You know where to get in touch with me. All the description box is holding all my links. Leave some comments here once you're done. Hit the like button, share it with a friend, subscribe, hit the bell notification. All those things are a little signal to YouTube that, hey, this content is interesting, it's important, people are watching it, engaging with it, and that allows more people to get in touch. Totally free on your end. You don't have to do anything except take a few seconds now to hit all those little buttons and icons, and it allows the ideas to flourish. And I think that's what we all need, is a fresh perspective, a new place to be included in a conversation. And so thank you for that. I love you all very much. If you're looking for me on other platforms, take a look at Instagram. That's where I am pretty much daily. And take a look over at TikTok. So until we meet again, next Friday, I will be giving you a pre-recorded session. I have to go take care of something with my parent, and I will be back live. But in the meantime, I'll post a video so that you have practice. Okay, lots of love. My pleasure to be here with you. And throw some hearts. Tell me where you're coming in from, and tell me what other topics you'd like to hear about. That's really helpful and very important, so I can make this for you. Yes. Bye for now.